Hey guys, what's up? It's Megadan29 and you are watching JLove81. I think that deserves claps.
Hey everybody, it's your girl JLove81. What's going on, guys? So today I am going to do a response video to Megadan29's games that I still have from my childhood. So let's get started. So guys, I have 200 NES games including hacks, but I'm gonna share with you specific games that I have from my childhood. So we're going back in time to 1985 when I first got my Nintendo Entertainment System. I was 4 years old. My parents got me the set that came with Rob the Robot. I unfortunately lost his claws and his accessories. We moved around a lot. So unfortunately I don't have that, but it's so cool to still have them. And of course, we cannot forget the game that he came with. Gyro Might. So I had to get Gyro Might. He has another game that he is supposed to be used for, but this is the only one I have. And you're pretty much a professor. The music is nostalgic, by the way, but your professor, you have to get through the obstacles by having Rob or your player 2 pretty much do the pipes. You have to move the pipes up or down so you can get through and defuse all the bombs and try not to get bit by those ugly monsters. So that's pretty much the gist of the game. So it's pretty cool that I still have it. Throwback! Popeye. I was a big fan of the cartoon. In this game, it's like an arcade game and you pretty much have to collect the items that Olive Oyl throws down at you before Brutus gets you. And that's pretty much it. I played this game with Shady J at Southeast Game Exchange. So here's a picture. And it was a lot of fun. He did beat me. Not by much though, but this game is very nostalgic to me as well. This brings back memories. Of course, you have to have Super Mario Brothers on the NES. I played this so much that when I was 5, I beat this game at 5 years old. So yes, back then I used warp zones, if you want to know the truth. But now, of course, I could run through this whole game and it holds a special place in my heart. Anytime we had family get-togethers, we all played this game. So this game is awesome. And shout out to Video Game Dustleys for the Dustly. But definitely very, very nostalgic to me. The next game, which check out the stickers I have. Look at this. That is old school. That's back in the day stickers. I still have that. I still have it. That's from when I was a kid. But the game is not Punch Out. It's actually Duck Hunt. So, of course, you need the light gun. This is why I still have my CRT TV, because that's the only type of TVs that will allow you to use the light gun. And for its time, this was amazing. It was so much fun shooting those ducks. But the dog used to piss me off laughing at me. I didn't like that. I used to cry. I wanted to shoot him. But yeah, we could get through it pretty nicely now. Being a Mario fan, I have to have Mario Brothers. So this is more of an arcade. When I first got this game, I didn't understand how it worked. So I used to try to jump on the turtles. You will die. You have to hit them from underneath and then you could jump up and get them. So any enemy you have to hit from underneath the platforms and then you'll be able to get it. So it's a fun game. You get used to it and very addictive. We got Gumshoe in the house. I did a gameplay of this game on my channel. I think it was last year. Love this game so much. So once again, it's a light gun game. And you play a detective who is trying to get his kidnapped daughter back. So you have to collect diamonds in order to get her back. And the cool thing about this game is he's constantly moving. But in order to make him jump, you have to shoot him. That's the only way he could jump. And there's also obstacles coming at you that you gotta shoot so he doesn't die. So it's pretty cool. I like it a lot. I highly recommend this game. Plus the soundtrack is really addicting. The next game, old school baby, is baseball. Yes, guys, I used to play this with my dad, and my dad is not a gamer at all. And he definitely sat and played with this. This is very basic, very simple. I don't know. I love it because of the nostalgia, but definitely not a great game. But I have a soft spot for this game. Same goes for 10-Yard Fight. This game is funny looking if you look at it now, but it was a lot of fun. I played this with family, and yeah, once again, very basic football game. Now, these early games that I'm showing, I don't remember too much of when I got them, but my mom used to randomly buy games. She just wanted me to have games on the NES. One of them is Urban Champion. This game brings me back to when I lived in Queens, New York. I played this with neighbors, and it's a beat 'em up game. You pretty much have to punch your opponent into a manhole. So there's a manhole on his side and one on your side. If you hit him, he goes back. The further back, the more you hit him, the further back he goes till he falls in the manhole, and vice versa. So that's pretty much how the game goes. Ice hockey. Yes, I did not have Blades of Steel till I was older, but this is ice hockey. It was simple, and you're pretty much, your team consists of like a large guy, a skinny guy, and a medium-sized guy. So the large guy could take hits. It's hard to knock him down and get the puck, but he's slow. The medium guy is medium, average, and then the skinny guy, you could just go like this to him and he flies away. But other than that, he's really, really fast. So you want him for the speed. So it's good to have a little bit of everything on your team. And that's pretty much it. I used to play this a lot with my cousins. This was a lot of fun. The next game, of course, I have is Mike Tyson's Punch-Out. Yes, I had this game. My parents were really big on boxing. My dad used to box back in the day. They used to watch fights all the time in the house. I used to have family come over for these fights, and I was really little. And I think this game's a lot of fun. I got to Mike Tyson and beat him one time. That's it. And I can't do it again for some reason. I could get to him, but I have to put a lot of practice, and that's the thing. I barely have time to play, but definitely fantastic game. So when I was a kid, my mom took me to Toys R Us a lot to pick games out. You guys remember when you had to go up to the game, pick the card out, right? And take it to the register person, and they had to go get the game in the back. Well, I seen this game, and I thought it was a different game, guys. This is Punch-Out. And yes, it's the same game. I did not know. When I popped it into my NES to play it, when I got home, I cried. I wanted to return it. We could not return it. So that's my bad. I was young. I didn't know. I didn't have the resources that we do today. But I did trade this in years later because I figured, what's the point of having two of them? I got this back maybe about 2 years ago. That's why you see the price tag. And I got it back because it's the only game from my childhood that I traded in, because I felt like I had two of the same game. But then I thought, you know, when you get older, you start appreciating things, and you're like, you know, that's nostalgic. I got to get that game back. It was something my mom got me. I never would get rid of something she got me. So that's where this comes back in my life. One of my favorite NES games, the original Legend of Zelda. Love this game so much. It's my favorite Zelda game of all times. The top-down view, my type of Zelda game, action adventure. And you guys know the Zelda story. You got to get the 8 pieces of the Triforce of Wisdom in order to get Ganon and save Princess Zelda. So that's pretty much the gist of it. So you have to go through dungeons. The soundtrack of the dungeons is fantastic. I love it. I love the dungeon music. The whole soundtrack is just phenomenal, and definitely one of my favorite Zelda games. I learned to appreciate this game, Zelda II, Adventure of Link. I learned to appreciate it when I got older. As a kid, I could not beat it. It was very frustrating. It was very different from the original Legend of Zelda. You know, because it's side scroller pretty much, and the only time it's a top-down view is during the overhead world. I thought this game was so difficult. I didn't know what I was doing. You know, Princess Zelda's in a sleeping spell, and in order to wake her, you pretty much have to gather all the Triforce pieces in the palaces. So you have to put crystals in the palaces in order to get to the final palace and get the Triforce of Courage in order to wake her. So that's pretty much the gist of this game. But I beat it 2 years ago. Thank you to T-Belly and Diehard Gamer Bros and Megadan29 who inspired me to go back and finish the game, and I did, and I appreciate it, and it made me love this game so much. So definitely recommend it. Very different, but different doesn't necessarily mean, you know, bad. I personally like the original Zelda better, but I would love to see them remake this game. What do you guys think? Thanks to Megadan29, this is the second NES complete box game that I have. Super Mario Brothers 2. I have my original Super Mario Brothers 2 up there, and I love this game. This game means a lot to me. It was one of the best Christmases I've ever had when I opened this game. It looks so different from the original Super Mario Brothers, and it was, and now we know why it was. But back then, we didn't know why. We didn't care. To us, this is North American's version of Super Mario Brothers 2, and I had so much fun with this game. So definitely one of my favorite Mario games. Who remembers the wizard?
Power glove. I love the power glove. It's so bad.
Yeah, well, just keep your power gloves off her, pal, huh?
Yes, guys, because of that movie, I was a big Fred Savage fan, and that movie made me want to get Super Mario Brothers 3.
Lucas Barton, 1300. Jimmy Woods, 1300. Maura Grissom, 400.
Now, there was a store called The Wiz in New York City. My mom took me there to pick this game up. I wanted this game in the worst way. I got it a little bit later than everybody else, but still I got the game. It is fantastic. It blew me away. It was very similar to the original Super Mario Brothers, but better levels. Fantastic soundtrack. We even got cartoons based on this game as well. Fantastic game altogether. I have no words. I love the movie so much. I can't land the plane. So Top Gun on the NES, I cannot, till this day, I can't land that plane. I try, I watched gameplay. I do not know what's wrong with me. My dad even tried. It pissed us both off. But other than that, I have fun with it. It's just landing the plane. That's the only bad thing about this game. Other than that, the soundtrack's pretty similar to the movie. Boy and His Blob. I love this game. So you pretty much have to collect items. You and your blob friend have to collect items in order to go back to his home planet and save his planet from an evil warlord. So that's pretty much the gist of this game, and it's like a shape-shifting blob. So you have to feed it different flavored jelly beans, and whatever jelly bean you feed it, it turns into that item. Like I think the licorice one turns into a ladder. That's an example. So really good game. It's obviously like a puzzle game as well, but I love this game. The music just brings me back to my childhood. I had a lot of fun with it. WWF Wrestlemania. This is very basic. I had this because I was a big WrestleMania fan back then. I was a big Hulk Hogan fan when I was a kid. That was the only time I was into wrestling. I was young. And like I said, this is very basic. So there's limited characters. I think there's Hulk Hogan, Macho Man, Honky Tonk Man, Andre the Giant, and $1 Million Man. I think that's pretty much it. But you know what? I had fun with it. So definitely, of course, there's better wrestling games out there. Before its time, it was pretty decent. I had Super C. So while everybody else had Contra, I played Contra at relatives' houses, like my cousins when I would sleep over. But I got Super C and I loved it just as much. So this is probably why I'm better at this game than I am the original Contra. But this game is fantastic. I would have to say I like it better than Contra. I have to say that because of nostalgic purposes. I just played this a lot more. I had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Arcade. So while everybody had TMNT, I did not get that game. I used to play it at my best friend's house all the time, which is probably why I never got it for myself. But this was the best, in my opinion, because it was more like the animation. It had Splinter, it had April O'Neil. They were kidnapped. You got to go and fight and get them back. I mean, it was the characters, everything was to the T. I love this. And the soundtrack is also awesome. Definitely my favorite when you beat it. And yeah, I just had so much fun. So this is just the port of the arcade game, but it doesn't look as good. It's Nintendo. I also had Track and Field 2. Guys, this game is super hard if you do not have a turbo controller. So you pretty much, it's Olympic games that you play. I think there's like 15 of them. And, you know, it's swimming, taekwondo, archery, you know, hurdling, all kinds of stuff. The best, thank God I had one of these. The best thing to use is the NES Advantage. You need that turbo button because a lot of it has a speed meter. And you need that in order to win most of the time. So that's what this comes in handy. So this is my childhood NES Advantage, and I always play this game with it. Mylon Secret Castle. I've spoken about this game on my channel before. This is a very, very tough game for a kid. It really, really is. Because you have bubbles. You're playing with bubbles. That is your weapon. And you have to collect all the music pieces back and beat the evil, whatever he is, wizard or whatever, in order to save the queen. So very, very difficult game. You got a lot of hidden places that you got to actually shoot bubbles in random places for a door to appear. I mean, definitely difficult, but still part of my childhood. I remember my aunt giving me this, which means a lot to me. So my Aunt Lisa got this for me and thought that I could do better than her in the game. I can't. But it's still a difficult game if you don't know what you're doing. You definitely need Nintendo power. I had strategy guides. I did have strategy guides and it helped me get through Simon's Quest. So this is Castlevania 2 Simon's Quest. This is the only Castlevania game I owned as a kid. So I loved it because I didn't know the difference. I didn't know about Castlevania 1, you know. My mom got it for me. I don't know why. I don't remember asking for it, but still, like I said, she randomly got me games and I had a good time with it. But the only way I beat it was through a strategy guide to know what to do at certain points. You need to know what to do, otherwise you're not gonna, you know, progress. You have to collect pieces of Dracula in order to defeat him. So that's pretty much this game. Definitely one of my favorite games is Ducktales. I love the soundtrack. Love this game. This is a platform game I love action platform games. And you have to collect the treasure as Scrooge McDuck. So much fun. And yeah, this is a game that I could just throw in and play anytime. My brother gave me his copy of Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. So this is the Tengen version. This game is hard. It is hard, especially the minecart stages. Man, I still never beat this game. It was just too hard, but I love the soundtrack and, you know, definitely nostalgic. There's two versions of the game. There's this version and then there's the regular gray cartridge version, and it's the same game. Throwback, Goonies 2 on the NES. Goonies, I did not know there was a Goonies 1. None of us did. So I was never understanding as to why this was called Goonies 2. Well, now we know there's a Goonies that came out in Japan only on the Famicom. I have that now. But this game, the soundtrack is fantastic, but it is so hard. You are equipped with a yo-yo at first. And I got lost. I think that's a lot of it. A lot of the time was because I got lost. You have to go into certain rooms and then it turns into first person, and because it's a side-scrolling game, but then when you go in the rooms it turns into first person and you got to find hidden objects and keys, and you have to pretty much collect all the Goonies. Your friends are kidnapped in order to get Annie from the Fratellis, and unfortunately I never beat it. Hopefully I will one day, but this game brings back so much memories of when I used to live in Queens, New York. Now, next game, Karate Kid. Yes, guys, I grew up with this game. I'm a huge Karate Kid fan, especially now with Cobra Kai. This follows the first 2 movies of the Karate Kid. I think it takes place in the All Valley with Johnny Lawrence, the first level, and then the rest of the levels take place in Okinawa from Karate Kid 2. Very short game is my only complaint. Some people think it's hard. I guess because I had it for so many years. I don't. I'm pretty good at it. But it's too short. There's only 4 stages. Really wish they would have added more. Like maybe 8 stages would have been better. But yeah, I like this game. A game I used to love to play with my cousins, my uncles, is Jaws. This game, I loved it, but I didn't beat it until recent years. As a kid, for some reason, I could not kill Jaws. But I could get to Jaws because you have to collect, you have to pretty much upgrade your boat enough to be able to fight Jaws. And I was okay with that, but for some reason, I was never able to defeat him. Now I can with no problem. But I loved it. I used to love getting the submarine. I used to love collecting the shells. It's a cute game. I got Mega Man 2 on the NES. This is the only Mega Man game that I got. And I don't remember why I got it. But love the soundtrack and love this. I'm going to favor this game because this is the game I grew up with. This is the game that I know. And I just recently beat it not that long ago. So once again, it's a game that I got to Dr. Wily and it was too hard as a kid to play. But now I can play with it, no problem. My favorite level is Bubble Man, and it's because of the music. But yeah, this is a fantastic game. We got the Flintstones, The Rescue of Dino and Happy. So this is the only Flintstones game I have. No, I do not have Surprise at Dinosaur Peak. I wish I did, but I love this game. It's so much fun. So this evil scientist takes away Dino and Happy and sends them to the future. And he breaks apart pieces of this spaceship that you need to collect in order to go to the future and get them back. So that's pretty much this game. But I had a lot of fun and I'm a huge Flintstones fan. Another game, Target Renegade. It's like a bootleg Double Dragon. That's what it plays like. It reminds me of Double Dragon. I never got too far, but it's a beat 'em up game. And I remember taking this to school. There was a couple games I used to take to school and we would trade games, but it was just for a few days. I used to get in so much trouble. My mom would find out, she'd freak out, which I don't blame her because she thinks I'm not going to get the games back. But that was awesome. We just have a bunch of games in our book bag. And then, you know, you get to your school or whatever and your friend and you would in the parking lot switch games just to try out games. That's how I tried out Iron Sword, you know, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Shout out to Chris, one of my first logos that he created. And I got Dick Tracy. I was a huge Dick Tracy fan. Have the toys, have the watch that lights up. Love the movie and I love the cartoon. I was really, really addicted to the cartoon series. So of course I wanted the game. I like the Genesis version a little bit better because it's more arcadey. But this game is pretty cool. You just have to have a lot of patience. This game is very difficult. You have to pretty much solve various crimes, of course, until you get to the end where you arrest Big Boy. And, you know, people have a problem with the driving mechanics. I don't think it's too much of a problem. You just have to memorize where the shooters are and the rooftops. Could it have been better? Yeah. I mean, you pretty much punch people unless they're armed. You can shoot them, but you cannot shoot unarmed people because then it can hurt you. It will take part of your life. So I have nothing really bad to say about this game. It's just that it was a little bit too difficult, but I respect this game a lot. Ccross. My uncles gave me this game and I had fun with it. It's a racing game. So you have like this motorcycle-like vehicle and you have to pretty much collect blue people that are stranded. And you have, you know, you're shooting objects. Objects are shooting at you. You got to dodge things. And that's pretty much how simple the game is. So definitely recommend this game. Talk about racing games. RC ProAm. I love this game. It was so much fun. So you're pretty much radio controlled vehicles that you control and race around the track. That's it. And it can get very tough. I never really fully beat this game, but it's still a lot of fun to pop in and play. Othello! I used to play this a lot with my mom. I had the board game, and I liked the board game so much that I got the Othello game. I don't know why, I don't remember, but it's the same as the board game if you guys played Othello, where you have the black pieces and the white pieces, and you have to overturn your opponent's color, and you have to have the most of whatever color you choose onto the board, and that's pretty much how you win. Tiger Heli. It is a shooters. So it reminds me of 1942, except you're a helicopter, and it's like a military game. It's a lot of fun, a lot of action. You shoot, you drop bombs, and that's pretty much how simple it is. So definitely recommend it if you like shooters. PacMan. So the Tengen version of PacMan. This is as basic as you're going to get. Love PacMan. And another game I played with my mom a lot is Dr. Mario. My mom loves Dr. Mario. I even got her the version on the Game Boy Advance SP. So she has her own Game Boy Advance SP because of this game. I also have this on Game Boy Advance, but it's a lot of fun. You guys know you got to kill the viruses. Those little cute, they're so cute looking, those little monsters. You have to get the pills and match the color of the pills to the virus to kill the virus. So it's a pretty cool puzzle game. And the final game I got was an accident. When I was a kid, we went to Toys R Us, and I wanted the Rocketeer. You guys remember that? I looked at the game, I pulled out the slip, walked over, got the game. I never looked at the slip. That's a problem. When I popped it in, it wasn't the Rocketeer. It was Rocket Ranger. I could not express how much I cried, and I was stuck with it. And because of nostalgic reasons, I stayed with it. But man, did I hate this game. I really hate this game. It is boring. I'll share a clip with you of a review I did from when I did a video for Max Impact about this game.
Rocket Ranger is a 1988 action-adventure strategy game released on the PC and in 1990 on the NES. This game is based in the World War II era, playing a US Army scientist setting out to stop an alien invasion. Using a rocket pack and a radium pistol, you must fly around the world fighting alien technology. This game takes a lot of patience because it is extremely slow. All I did was read and read and read. I just felt like I did nothing but read. I'm falling asleep right now. But you get to shoot down enemy fighters, fist fight alien soldiers in order to gain rocket parts. You must collect 5 parts for a rocket ship and 500 units of lunarium to go to the moon and close down the mines and battle aliens. You send agents all over the world to help you gather essential information. You must stop world domination and rescue Dr. Barnstoff and his beautiful daughter Jane. I don't know what else to tell you guys, but do not buy this game. Stay away from it. Stay far away, please.
That's it, guys. So thank you for joining me and bringing me back in time, talking about my childhood NES games. It really made me smile going back and looking at these games. These are the games that I had when I was a kid before getting into the Super Nintendo. And then, you know, I guess as I got older and I was able to buy my own games, I started getting more games for the NES as well, and trying games that I did not get to have that you see in Nintendo Power. Now that we have YouTube, we can see people play games that we never heard of or got to play, like Adventure Island, for example. Thanks to Solid Nate, I wish I would have had that game as a kid, but I am so blessed. I have such a soft spot for all these games here, and so grateful to my parents, my aunts, my uncles, my brother, cousins, friends, whoever gave me these games. It's a blessing. It brings me back to playing as a family. It also brings me back to that room. I was in my old room. My parents painted it lilac and purple. Queens, New York is where it started. I had my own CRTV, and it was the one that had the buttons for the channels on the side of it. And that's where I played my Nintendo games. That's the memories that I have. I had bunk beds at the time, so I used to sleep on the bottom bunk. I would sit on the bunk bed and face the TV this way and play with my Nintendo. And I'll always remember that and forever grateful for the Nintendo, because if it wasn't for Nintendo, I probably wouldn't have gotten into video games. So Old school, baby. Let's go. Thank you guys for joining me. And also, don't forget to promote positivity. And I also want to do like Dan and leave this as an open tag. So if you guys want to share your childhood NES games, I would love to see that. If you guys want to see anything else from my collection, let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you guys later.
Turn my YouTube on and I need to watch something. She love got a new video, so it's about to be jumping like Mario. My bad, I'm sorry though. She got me glued to the phone, I can't let it go. She got a old school swag, but she still keep it new. And she like Nintendo, and I like them too. Always coming with that good energy. Always promoting positivity. So I'm about to get it popping like some bubble wrap. So you better watch your face, cause Jay loves slaps. So excuse me, I can't help myself. If I'm watching J Love, leave me by myself, cause I'm about to go in on this video. Just like I do when I hit the studio. And if I ever meet her, I'll give her a big hug. Like the song says, I love watching J Love. J Love, J Love, J Love. I love watching J Love, J Love, J Love, J Love, J Love.